Happy video day, guys. Today I'm going to be sharing with you guys a brand new palette. So this palette released just recently and there was just something about it that called my attention, and it's by a brand that I have actually never tried any of their products. So byterry released this really beautiful Paris themed palette. It is the new Paris Mon Amour palette and it's part of her VIP expert palettes. I thought that the packaging of this was just too gorgeous to pass up. I also saw the interior and just almost gasped with how pretty the color story was, and I couldn't wait to pick it up to show it to you guys. So in today's video, I will be trying it out for the first time, giving you guys some of my thoughts, and yeah, let's get into it. So we're gonna go ahead and run down everything about this palette. I'll be showing you guys the swatches. I'll also be trying it on for you guys, giving you guys some details. We're gonna cover this entire palette. But have you hit subscribe yet? If you haven't, I would love it if you would join the family by hitting that little red subscribe button somewhere down below. That way, when I post new videos, you can actually see them on your timeline. Let's get into some of the details about this palette. So this palette actually is available right now on the byterry website. It retails for $56 US. The product details about it does say it's a matte and metallic eyeshadow palette that has 10 eye-catching shades. It's easily blendable and buildable. It has a creamy texture and it has clean and vegan formula. It's also a limited edition eyeshadow palette with Paris's iconic skyline. She also goes on to explain how her matte formula is formulated so that it is creamy and that you can go ahead and blend it very easily onto the lids. It also is not going to kind of like grab onto your lid. So the description of the palette is awesome. The color story is so beautiful. So obviously, hearing all of those things, it's a bunch of awesome stuff about the palette, and I honestly could not wait to get this on my lid. So when it comes to the packaging, guys, the packaging is actually really cute. I do think that it's a nice container. This is like a typical like compact. Like, I don't think like it's anything like super luxurious or anything. The compact is nice. Like, I love the decoration on the front though. The decoration on the front is absolutely stunning. I just think it's so pretty. The back is nice and plain. The interior has a little bit more work. You do see all of the little embossings on all of the different shadows. I do think that's really cute. Just keep in mind, within the first use, they're all gonna be gone. So like, if you guys see, I already used this. I'll show you guys before I used it, but you guys see like most of them are gone. So I mean, if you're buying this because you love the embossing, like, it's not gonna stay there, you know? So just keep that in mind. They're all gonna be gone. So I think it's very, very pretty. The embossing was a cute effect, but it's just that, a cute little effect, and really nice size mirror. It also does come with a little brush, which to me is just too small. You know, I just don't like these little tiny brushes, but if you're somebody who does like these, it is, you know, a cute little brush for you to use. But let's go ahead and let's do some swatches of it, because I feel like there's a few things about this palette that I love, and then there's some things that I'm like okay with, but let's go ahead and swatch some of these colors. So I'm gonna go ahead and start off with the first one. So the first one is a creamish white color. And if you guys see, it swatches really, really nice. So it is like a cream white. I don't know if you guys are even gonna be able to see it with my skin tone. Then if we go into the next color, you are getting a, it almost feels like a satiny, it's a beautiful like matte taupe color. Then the next color going along the top is this pretty metallic-y pink. So if you guys can see, it's a very light pink. It's actually a little bit more pinky pink than I thought it was going to be when I looked at it in the pan, but it's very pretty color actually, but it is a little bit more pinky. Then the next one reminds me of a copper. It's really, really pretty. Actually has a very pretty shift to it. It has like a peach shift to it. Very, very gorgeous tone. So far, all of these colors, very, very pretty, very airy, very light. The next one is your deepest shade in here, and this is a matte, and this matte is actually pretty amazing. I have it on the outer edge today. I love this matte. It's a little bit drier than this one up here. This one's like, I feel like it's more of like a creamy matte. This one here is a little bit drier. It does have a lot of fallout, but it's easier to kind of blend and build up. Then the next one is a darker coppery tone, and this one is also very beautiful and very, very rich in tone. If you guys can see, look at that swatch. Oh my God. The color tone of that is pretty amazing. The next one is a gold. Now, this color did give me a little bit of trouble. I will talk about it when we go over it, but it's a very pretty champagne-y gold color. And honestly, the color story is just very, very beautiful. The next one, as you go down, is this really pretty, like burgundy reddish. Oh my goodness, that color is just beautiful. The next one here is a lighter taupe And it reminds me more of like a satiny. It almost reminds me a little bit of this one, but it has a little bit of shine in it. Very pretty, different formula, and it's more of like a base for me. Then final tone here is this one here. It's also like a matte cream, but it looks almost the same as the first one. The tone is different, but it has a little bit more pink in it, but it's very similar to the first one. So that is the swatches. They do swatch very, very beautifully, and yeah. All right, so I already created this look, and I will show you guys the whole process of creating it at the end of this video in case you guys aren't interested in the actual tutorial portion. So let's get into some of my thoughts. So what I have to say about this palette is I do feel like the blendability is so amazing. When I use this really, really deep dark shade and I used it on the outer edge, it didn't give me so much pigment that when you go in, you could totally mess up. Sometimes very rich pigmented colors, they go on too dark, and then if you try to blend them, it's like a losing battle. This one goes on pigmented, but it blends away. It blends so beautifully. So you can create those flawless, very blendable looks. I'm kind of obsessed with this color right here. It's probably one of my favorite colors in here. Other than this color, these two colors right here, these two mattes, I feel like it was a little bit redundant. I don't think that she needed to put these two colors in here. They're so close. On the lid, it's really not going to make a huge difference. Yes, there is a color variant here. One goes a little bit pinker, the other one's a little bit more creamy, but in one palette, I feel like one of these colors would have been sufficient, and I don't think the color tone is so drastic that both of these had to be in here. So I do think that this was a little bit repetitive. I'm also going to say that this one right here that's called Paris, it's a very pretty color. It's so minute and it's so soft that on my skin tone, it almost just like doesn't do much. If you want to do just like a wash of color that it looks like you have something because you see like little speckles, you can use this color and just put it all over the lid, and it will give you like a really pretty, very natural effect. In my personal opinion, I don't love this color. I think it's okay. I just don't think on my skin tone it does anything fabulous for me. This creamy matte here is also really pretty. I do like this one. I think it's a very nice tone. It's very blendable. It works really nice, and I like this one more than I like this one. These two tones also are very close in color. This one I think is a little bit better than this one. This color right here is beautiful. I love the metallic. Like, this is insanely gorgeous. I can't actually wait to actually put this all over the lid. I think that's gonna look stunning. Even blended with this shade right next door is probably gonna do a very beautiful, effortless, going into spring look. Love that. Love this color. Also very stunning. This is probably one of the most pigmented metallics in this palette that right away you get a stark pigment. This one's really nice. I feel like you have to use your finger with these metallics. If you try to use a brush, I feel like it almost skips, like it doesn't hold on to the lid well. And even if you try to pack it, it just is not the same effect as if you put it on with your finger. Your finger, I don't know if it's the oils on your finger or the shape, but it really does put the pigment on perfectly. So definitely if you get this palette, use your finger. This shade here, I was so excited for. This is my favorite color of champagne, like honestly, obsessed. I feel like for being as pigmented as it's swatched, it doesn't do like a full pigment look. It almost looks like a topper because the underlying color is just so light, and a skin tone like mine, it just kind of blends away into my skin, and all I see is like the reflex. It's a very pretty color. I just expected a little bit more from it. This one also insanely gorgeous, super pigmented. I tried using a brush with this one at one point, and I feel like you need to use your finger because the brush skipped and I wasn't able to put the pigment on perfect. Like I already talked about these two in the beginning. So if you guys can see, there is a few little things that I have about this palette that I'm not like obsessed with, that I'm not like in love with. But that being said, there's something about this formula that I really, really, really love. Like, I'm looking at my lids right now, and I can tell that this is going to be something that's going to be very mature skin friendly. I don't see any line in my lids right now. Like, it literally looks flawless. Almost like I put a very silky eyeshadow over the lid that doesn't get into any lines. It reminds me of the effect that like a Charlotte Tilbury eyeshadow would do. The only thing that I think with this eyeshadow palette is this is going to be for that person who wants very easy, effortless looks that are a little bit on the lighter side. You're not going to go too dramatic with your eye looks. You want very everyday looks. If you want to knock it up a little bit, you could, but you're not going to do any really like real dramatic look. Now, if you're somebody looking for pigment, you're looking for metallics to pop, like you really want them to shine off of your lids and you're expecting like a Pat McGrath metallic, this does not do this. This is very subtle metallics, very effortless, very easy, very fino, very elegant look to it. I actually like this palette for what it is, for what I would use it for. Kind of like how I would say my Charlotte Tilbury palettes. I love them for what I use them for, and I think that they're stunning. I think that they could have done without some of these shades and maybe given us a little bit more, but overall, quality-wise and the way it performed, I like it. If you guys bought this palette, leave me your comments down below and let me know if you guys like it. But let's go ahead and let's get into how I created this eye look. So I'm super excited to try this out. I've never tried byterry, so I'm gonna go ahead and like just first let's look at this. Oh, that's actually really pretty. I really love the color story of this palette. I think what I'm gonna do is start off with this cream color right here and kind of just put that all over the lid. I have no idea what look I'm gonna go for today. I really just gonna go in and play. So that cream was actually really pretty. I think what I want to do now is I kind of want to go into, what color do I want to use? So what I think I'm going to do is first I'm going to use the deepening shade just to kind of get like an idea of the frame of the lid. So I'm going to grab this one right here. That's very pretty. Very nice saturated color I've got there. So what I'm doing right now is I'm just kind of like framing my eye to get an idea of the shape. Yeah, that was actually really nice, and I feel like it blended out really easily. So I'm just gonna kind of with a brush with nothing on it, I'm just gonna blend it. So far so good. So what I'm gonna do is kind of like to play on that same brown. I'm just gonna grab this more metallic-y brown. I'm gonna get it on a brush and kind of just like pat that in. Let me try using my finger. Yeah, I almost feel like the metallic shades need your finger. It's not really giving me impact with the brush. Then I kind of like want to grab this beautiful color. I'm like dying to use this. And this one kind of like, to me, is kind of like a topper. I feel like it's not applying like, this one here is actually kind of like leaving more of like a glittery look to the lid, whereas I thought it was going to be more like a metallic. But it's very soft. I thought this one was going to be a little bit more impactful. It's pretty. I'm not as in love with that shade as maybe some of the other ones. Okay, so let's jump right back into that deepening brown for a little bit. Just kind of. There is a lot of fallout with this. I'm going to grab this color under the lid. Fixed up that under eye mess that I had going, so let's continue. I want to see what this pinky color does. I'm just gonna pop that in the middle here. Just get an idea. Okay, I think we're gonna leave it there. I'm gonna put on some eyeliner and mascara. I'll be right back. Yeah, so this is the final look. You guys saw it before, and like I said, I think it has a very beautiful, effortless look to it, and let me know what you think down below. I'll talk with you guys later. Bye.